Hey guys, in this tutorial, I'll show you how to use the Documents and Contracts feature within Music Teacher Pros so you can easily send out studio policy agreements to your students. So from the dashboard, let's head over to the Payments tab. Then hover your mouse over Invoices and Contracts and go to Document Builder. And then to get started, you want to click on New and select New Template. And then let's go ahead and rename this template so we know exactly what it's for. So I'm gonna name it Studio Policy Agreement. So obviously you can rename this into whatever you call your contracts or agreements. So to get started with adding the content of your studio policies or agreement, let's go ahead and add a text element by clicking the plus icon at the top left and then select text. So click that and drag that over to our template builder just like this. And from here, you can freely edit this and type the content as you go. So I already have a sample agreement template that I generated, so I can just go ahead and simply copy and paste. So let me just copy the first part of this one and then paste that over here. And then let's just go ahead and update the font that is used. So let me highlight all of that and then change the font by clicking up here. And we can choose from any of the font that's available here. So let me just choose this one. So just like this. So as we add in the content of the studio policies, you want to be cautious of the page breaks. So just ensure that enough space is added here to ensure that it looks good, especially if this is going to be imported as a PDF file. So we want to make sure that our content stops at the top of this page break. So let me just go ahead and quickly format this. So let me just remove some unnecessary space. And then we can even adjust the line height to ensure readability of the document. So let's highlight all of this and then click on the drop down up here and select a specific line height. So we can use 1.5 or maybe 2 if you want some more space. But let's just use 1.5. So if you want to continue on with the rest of the content, you want to click on Add New Page and add another text element. So click on the plus icon up here, drag and drop the text element once again, and then continue typing with the rest of the content. So let me just go ahead and copy the rest of my content in here. So probably up here. So paste it like that, and again, update the font. There we go, as well as the line height. And then let's properly format this just to ensure that the rest of the content will be above the page break. So that looks good enough for me. Now to continue on with the rest, let me add another page and copy the rest of this. So I will probably stop up here and then add another element and add the text, paste, and then ensure the right font is selected as well as the line height. There we go. Then just format the rest. There we go. So for the rest, I will be adding this as a separate text element since we will be doing something in here, which is adding a checkbox. So let me just add that real quick under here, paste that, and then update the font and the line height. So that looks good enough. Let me just see. So this needs to be changed as a paragraph. There we go. And then this one. So add another element and then there we go. So as we go over this content, there are some custom values that you can use to ensure that details are pre-filled, like the contact's name or the signer's name, as well as the name of your business. So to add a custom field, let's go ahead and click on Document Variables at the top. So we can go ahead and firstly insert the music school name. So you can use this document sub-account name right here. So you want to copy that. And I'm going to replace this one here. So paste. So as you can see, this will be automatically populated with the name of your account or the friendly business name on your business profile settings. And then for the effective date, we can use the document created date variable. So again, just copy this and then insert that where it's needed. This will be a dynamic field that will change depending on the creation of the agreement. So at the end here, I have this content with the student or parent name. So again, you can use custom value in here. So if you want to add a custom value like this, so let me erase that one first. And to insert a custom value to add the contact or the signer's name, you want to click on this field icon at the top where it says custom values, and then select contact, and then select full name. This custom field here will automatically pull up the name of the contact on your account. So when this document gets sent over, their name will be automatically generated in the document as well. Now let's go through some of the elements that you can add on this template builder. So if we click on the plus icon up here, the next one we have is the image element. So you can insert some pictures or logo anywhere on the page. So let's go ahead and insert our logo at the beginning. So just drag and drop this up here. And then to select an image, you want to look on the right side, which will open up the properties tab. And to add an image, just click on this image element right here. So this will open up the media storage where you can upload your own logo. So since I already have mine uploaded, I can just go ahead and select that from here. Select and click on insert media. There we go. And then from here, you can adjust the height and the width. So let's say, for example, 150. So since I have a square logo, I just have to put in the same pixels for the height and width. So that looks good. And then the next element we have is the video element right here. So you can add some videos if it's needed. And then we have the table element. So it looks like this. If you want to add some content that needed tables just like this, so you can add more rows or columns as needed, just like that. So if you want to delete an element, just simply click that element and click on the trash icon up here. And then if we click on add element again, the next thing we have is the product list element. If you want to add some type of payment in the event, so let's see what this looks like. So it looks like this. You are able to add some product that you have. So say for example, this one. So you can add an item so they can kind of check out from the agreement. So you probably wouldn't normally use this as most payments are made before the agreements are sent. So this is just a nice thing to have if you will have some use for it. So let me just cancel that and delete this away. And then the last element that we have here is page break. So you can manually add page breaks by dragging and dropping this element. Now let's head over to the fillable field. So if we click the plus icon once again, we will have the rest of fillable fields down here. So these will be the fields that the signer will need to fill out. So firstly, we have signature so that they can actually sign the agreement. So we can add that at the end where we have this signature field. So let me just remove this line here and replace that with the signature field. So just like this. We can go ahead and resize it as needed by dragging the corner. So you can also assign this signature field to either the signer or you. If some agreements also need to be assigned by you, so you can find that up here. So by default, this will always be assigned to the contact. So let's not change that. And by the way, you will notice this contact text at the top of the signature field. So you have the option to have it auto-populate with the signer's name. So you can enable or disable it easily by ticking this box on the right side, just like that. So the next thing we have for fillable fields is text field. If there are some details that they manually need to put in. So one example is like adding the last 4 digits of card used or maybe their billing address and so on. So you can drag and drop that right here. So there's also a feature here where you can link a custom field. You can assign a custom field to this text field. So you see, for example, student name, especially if the person who will be signing is a parent. So let's go ahead and assign a custom field to this one. So just click on add custom fields on the right side and search for the custom field. Go to custom fields here and search for student name and then link and save. So we can also even add a placeholder in here. So we can update this to student name so they know exactly what to put in on this text field. So what happens with this is when they fill out this field with the name of the actual student, it will automatically save that info in their contact details area. So let me just pull up a sample of what that looks like. So in the contacts tab, say for example, this contact right here. If we click that, this will pull up their contact details. So let's head over to the additional info where we have the student name added. So it's this field right here. So when they submit the agreement, this will be populated with whatever they filled out from the agreement. So it's kind of like submitting a form. But hey, you might wonder why these fields don't currently exist on your account. So these are actually custom values that I manually created. We didn't have these details built in since you guys have different needs and we want to prevent clutter as much as we can to prevent overwhelm. But if you want to add additional custom fields like this, you can absolutely do so. So just head over to settings, which is the cogwheel icon on the top right, and go to the custom fields tab and then click on add field. So we have different types of output fields right here, but we can just select single line and then click next. And then we want to add the field name. So for example, child's name. And then for group, you can add that under additional info and then save. So once that's saved, it will appear in the contents area just like this. So this should be right here. So again, if you need more custom fields for your school, you can absolutely add more from the custom fields area. So going back to our document builder, and then going back to this text field, you can resize this as needed by dragging the corner just like this. So the next fillable field that we have here is the date field. So if you want the signer to fill out a specific date on the agreement, you can use this one. And then we have the initials field if you need that to fill out their initials. And then lastly, we have a checkbox here if you need them to manually tick a box to agree. So let's do a quick example. So I have this text here. I'm just gonna go ahead and add some padding in here to give some space for my checkbox. So just select this element and then I'm gonna add a padding, say for example 20 or maybe 40. Here we go. And then let's drag and drop our checkbox element here. Just like that. And add that on the side. So just place that nicely. And then I'm also going to go ahead and add a text box on these two fields here. So I'm just going to add some space. Here we go. And then add the checkbox element once more. So by the way, you can resize this checkbox as needed if it's gonna place in a small space like this. And let's duplicate that to add another one under here. So this one here doesn't need to be required. So let's just remove the required setting. This one as well. So that's looking all good so far. So let's go ahead and save this template. So now that we have our template saved, we can now go ahead and set up a simple automation to automate the sending of agreements. So let's click back here and you want to go next to the automations area. All right, let's head over to automation. So click on create workflow here and then select start from scratch. And then let's rename the workflow to send agreements or send agreement. Then save that. So firstly, let's set up the trigger. So click on add new trigger. So the trigger that I will use is tag added. So it's going to be contact tag. And then tag added, and it will be the customer tag is added. So let me just rename the trigger name. Just like that. And then save trigger, and then save the workflow once again to make sure we don't lose any of the progress that we have here. And then let's go ahead and add a step. So click on the plus icon and search for send, document, and contracts. There we go. So from user, all you have to do here is select your user. So I'm going to be selecting this one. And then let's select the template that we created. So the sending mode will be sent directly. And then for the channel, you can choose whether to send it via email or via SMS or both email and SMS. So for this one, I'll just select email and then save action. And let's publish the workflow and then save the workflow once more. Now this workflow starts once you add the customer tag to a contact. Then once this tag has been added, the system will automatically send them the agreement with some of the contact's details filled out. Now let's do a quick sample walkthrough just to show you how that looks like. So going back to workflows, let's head over to the contacts tab and then select my contact right here. So let's say I'm gonna add the customer tag to this contact. So click this one and search for the customer tag. So click customer, and let's just wait for a few seconds. There we go. Alright, so this is what the default email looks like. So if you click on view document, we can preview what that document looks like. So it looks like this. So if we scroll down to the bottom, again, you will notice these check boxes in here. Then you will also see some of the text field and the signature field that we created. So let's tick this box, for example, and then fill this out. Let's do testing. And then let's add a signature, accept and sign, and then click finish. Now, if we go back to the contact details area, if you click on the documents icon on the top right side here, you will see all of the documents that has been sent to a specific contact, and you will also see the status of whether it has been sent, viewed, or signed. So as you can see, this has already been completed since I already signed it. And then lastly, just to show you the full view of all of the agreements you sent, you can view that under Payments tab, and then just hover your mouse over Invoices and Contracts and go to Documents and Contracts. So from here, you will see the overview of what's in draft, what's been pending, and what has been completed. So that's everything for using documents and contracts. If you have any questions, just let us know in the group. I'll see you there.